All right, hello everyone. So today we're going to be talking about muscular dystrophy. So what is muscular dystrophy? Muscular dystrophy is a group of degenerative muscle disorders that result in progressive depletion of muscle stem cells, causing increased vulnerability to muscle injury and damage. Over time, fat and scar tissue replaces the muscles until the damage is irreversible and the muscles can no longer work. Certain genes are involved in making proteins that protect muscle fibers. Muscular dystrophy occurs when one of these genes is defective. The most popular form or most common form is Duchenne muscular dystrophy. And at the bottom right corner, you see this image. It has a picture of the bicep, and then over time, it's deteriorating basically. So, MD results from a genetic mutation that leads to a lack of dystrophin, which is a protein that helps strengthen muscle fibers and protect them from injury. The dystrophin protein transfers the force of muscular contraction from the inside of the muscle cell outward to the cell membrane, like you see here. It's inherited in an X-linked recessive manner. Each son born to a woman with dystrophin mutation, one of her two X chromosomes has a 50% chance of inheriting the flawed gene and having DMD, or a form of muscular dystrophy, Duchenne. Each of her daughters has a 50% chance of inheriting the mutation being a carrier. So the most common forms of muscular dystrophy are Duchenne, like I mentioned earlier, myotonic muscular dystrophy, Becker muscular dystrophy, limb-girdle muscular dystrophy, Emery-Dreifuss muscular dystrophy, or oculopharyngeal muscular dystrophy. So this image shows the green areas show where the main areas of the muscle weakness in different types of dystrophy. So the most muscles affected is Duchenne and Becker. They affect the most muscles. And one that isn't shown here is the pharyngeal muscular dystrophy, which affects the pharynx muscles. And then we have muscular dystrophy prevalence. Average lifespan is 25 years old, unfortunately, and 1 in 5,000 male births are affected by muscular dystrophy. It's the number one genetic killer in boys. It's usually diagnosed from ages 2 to 5 years of age, and 30% are on the autism spectrum, and it's estimated to affect around 250,000 people in the U.S. So here we have this graph showing the survival rate or survival percent of males diagnosed with Duchenne muscular dystrophy at different age ranges. And as you can see, as a person with muscular dystrophy does in fact get older, their chance of survival lowers, and they ultimately will die within their late to maybe early 30s, but they usually don't live to be that old. Yeah. So percentage of males with Duchenne/Becker muscular dystrophy using a wheelchair. So as you can see, 5 to 9 years of age, it's a 29% chance. And then it jumps up almost 50% from the age ranges of 10 to 14, and then still increases from 15 to 24 years of age. So they're basically most likely going to end up in a wheelchair. However, it does progress from most of the time leg braces and then a wheelchair, but sometimes they go right to wheelchair if it's that bad right away. So some of the complications for muscular dystrophy include trouble walking, trouble using their arms, shortening of muscles or tendons around the joints, breathing problems, curved spine, heart problems, and swelling problems. These are all because the muscles are deteriorating in the body and basically becoming weaker over time. Here we have an image. This is the form of Duchenne muscular dystrophy, like I said earlier, and 3 to 6 is like the onset, like where you fully start to see like symptoms. As I said, progressive weakness. Right here, the image is early signs of like looking for it in young boys. Usually, their belly sticks out due to weak belly muscles, Their thighs are weak, especially in the front part. This is a big indicator. They're standing on their tippy toes. They're complaining about soreness in their legs. Um, and they also have weak butt and hamstring muscles as well. They have gait problems and sway back and forth. So those are just early signs of muscular dystrophy, in particular Duchenne muscular dystrophy. So the effect of MD on exercise: ages 6 to 9 walk on toes with belly out, chest back, legs wide apart. Not every child experiences the same symptoms, just like every other disease, but those are the common signs of it. And you can also see like these symptoms from 6 to 9. That's where it really starts to affect them. The most affected boys lose the ability to walk around the age of 12, which directly hinders ability to exercise. So they can still do certain things with, as I said, with their brace on. However, when they become wheelchair bound, it's going to be harder for them to find activities that they can do while in a wheelchair, but there still are options as long as their arms still have mobility. Inactivity may cause scoliosis, osteoporosis, and muscle atrophy, hindering exercise ability. Like I said, for them losing all their muscle in their legs, they're sitting down in a wheelchair all day, it's going to start affecting other parts of their body as well. So medications and treatment. Unfortunately, there's currently no cure for muscular dystrophy right now. There's a few medications that slow the suppression of weakness. Glucocorticoids such as prednisone or deflazacort were approved by the FDA for treating muscular dystrophy in 2017. So they do suppress, but they don't cure. And some of the side effects are weight gain, high blood pressure, behavior changes. Those are like the main ones. And as you can see in this picture, the little boy has leg braces on, and if begun early enough, occupational and physical therapy may help muscles slightly become more flexible and stronger. And that's what they're trying to do here with him walking on the assisted hand beams. So how exercise affects muscular dystrophy? Moderate to high exercise may be considered harmful. Well, not may, it will be considered harmful, and they cannot perform high intensity activities because it can induce damage, inflammation, failure of muscles to repair themselves. They also can't perform that. Stretching is a good way to increase muscle mobility and joint stiffness. Stretches should focus on muscle groups prone to contractures such as hip, knee, shoulder, wrist, fingers, and plantar flexors as well. So for my case study, Noah is an 8-year-old boy with muscular dystrophy. He is a 4 feet 4 inches tall boy and weighs 53 pounds. He has limited mobility in his legs and arms. He has complained of gradually progressive bilateral limb weakness since 5 years old. Noah wears leg braces to help keep his legs stable when walking. Noah enjoys swimming and has a goal of being able to swim the width of the pool, without assistance. An overall goal for Noah is to maintain the existing mobility he has in his limbs for as long as he possibly can. So, exercise prescription. So Noah, we're going to have him, he has limited mobility in his arms and legs. So we're going to have him do some swimming because he really enjoys swimming, because it allows him to move more freely than walking or anything else out of the pool or water. We'll have Noah do 5 to 10 assisted laps of swimming back and forth 2 times a week. Lower or raise the amount after assessing his fatigue level. So 2 to 3 times days a week of walking around the track for 10 to 15 minutes with leg braces on, assistance when needed. So one of the most important aspects, like I said earlier, for people with muscular dystrophy is making sure he's doing stretches. It says nightly, but we want him to be doing at least 3 to 4 times per day his stretches, held for 10 to 30 seconds, repeated 3 times. So for my conclusion, that is me and my 2 cousins right here. They both were diagnosed with muscular dystrophy. The boy in the wheelchair, he is actually my age. I am only 4 months older than him. That's my mom's sister's kids. So they were both diagnosed with muscular dystrophy. At a very young age, they saw that Jacob, that is the boy in the wheelchair. I was progressing way quicker. I was crawling and walking way before he could, and they were confused as to why he wasn't progressing and very like slow to progress in a lot of his motor skills. So that's when they took him to the doctor and they found out he did in fact have muscular dystrophy. So the reason I picked muscular dystrophy to research and to teach everyone about is because it really hits home. There is no cure for it, and it does affect families around the world. And it is unfortunate that there's no cure, but every day they're looking for a cure and raising money for a cure. And one day I hope they will. So thank you very much for listening. And yeah, have a great day. And those are my references.